Hi, I'm Carrie, and welcome to my channel. Like many of you, I've been sewing since I was young, so I had a lot of years under my belt before I went into bridal alterations. I trained for several years under a bridal alterations specialist, and when that dear lady retired, I opened up my own studio here more than 10 years ago. So I've seen my share of gaping necklines like this. So let's go fix it. See you at the table. All right, here's the neck edge right here. And I've got marked right here where we need to take a little dart along that neck edge just so that flap goes away. So right between those pins there's that applique. I'm going to pick that away, and I need to decide whether I want to remove this end of the applique or this end. And I think I am going to go for this end of the applique, and the reason is because this is the shoulder seam, and I've already taken the shoulder seam in and sewed the applique down by machine over the top of that. So I'm just going to find a place here where I can see a stitch and just start carefully lifting that applique. Luckily we have some white threads here. It's not all done in that clear plasticky, I don't know if it's monofilament, I don't know if that's what it's called, but the clear plastic thread is harder to see. So I've got some white thread I can deal with here. So it's a little hard for me to be suspending this in the air while I'm doing it. So I'm just going to continue carefully lifting this applique, and if it's helpful to you, just know that if you can see threads, ooh, I can see threads from the back. Can you see that? It might be easier to pull from the back. Being careful not to catch any of that netting. And just carefully work this away until that applique is lifted. So I will pause the camera and be back when I've got this lifted. I think I have it all unpicked now. So I'm going to carefully lift the pin and replace it as I pull back that applique. Okay, and then same for the next one. Oops, it looks like I missed a couple stitches up here. Let's grab my seam ripper and pull that back. Yeah, those pesky stitches. There are seamstresses who would do this without marking it. Great. I know I'll forget what the distance is, so I know me, and I want to be double sure that I don't forget. So I'm going to put the pins there, and then I'm going to run a basting thread with a bright color so that I can see it, so I can take the pins completely out. I think that's just going to be easier for me. As I hoist the dress from the table to the machine, I don't risk anything falling out. All right, so let me get a needle and thread. I'm going to use a bright red thread, and we're just going to baste like here along this line, here along this line, because what's going to happen is this is going to come together. We're going to taper it out as quickly as we can so that by the time that applique comes over, there's not going to be any puckering or anything. So let's go get that thread. I think I'm just going to keep the thread double here. And let's just get that in there. The most important points to be accurate are the ones that are closest to the neck edge here. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about where my taper needs to go. I'm just going to, oops, that one's falling out. I'm just going to cut across, literally, because my aim is to mark the neck edge of this pin here. That's really what I want. Right before that pin falls out, I'm going to pull the pins out now. Okay, so my most important portions of marking are here and here. Let's cut that thread. I'm going to do the same to the other side, but I'm not going to show it. And then next time I see you will be at the machine. Be sure and check out my playlist. Leave a comment if you have a different perspective on this, because this is just one of many ways to do it. Anyway, this is just my idea. So I love hearing comments, and I'll see you over at the machine. All right, here we are at the machine, and I've got the first one I'm going to do pinned together. I've got the thread. This is the neck edge right here. The threads are matched. This is the most important matching point for those threads because I need to take in that amount right there. And I'm going to taper it as quick as possible to the edge so that this applique, which is folded underneath, can cover it. And I'm not going to do a back stitch. I am going to hand tie it. Oops, I'm sorry if my hand's getting in the way. We're going to try to not have my hand get in the way. So I'm going to sew over that red thread too. I'll just pull it out later. Let's see how this goes. And as I sew, I'm going to try to make sure that this netting isn't scrunched up. Just really slow. All right, and I'm going to pull that out. We'll hand tie it on both ends. And with the ends, I will end up just feeding them under the applique so they won't be seen. Pull that red thread out. Can pull that out yet? Oh, I might have to clip it down there. The problem with sewing over it is that the stitches will kind of lock it in a little bit, but we can pluck it out, get it to fray, whatever, so that we can pull it all the way out. There we go. Let's hand tie this beginning thread here. I'm going to cut them shorter because I started with them really long and they're just getting in the way. There we go. All right. So ignoring those tails, let's turn it to the right side. So you see the flap I did is on the right side. You could do it either way, it really doesn't matter. So when this folds down, and when I hide the tails, it's completely unseen. And then she'll have a neckline that doesn't have a little flap that flaps out. Now, if you notice in the neck edge too, there is this little plastic thread. And this was used to kind of also just to give stability to this neck edge. It's just cut. Can you see it? It's just this really soft netting that's just cut. And it helps it lay flat against her neck. I'm going to replace that. So I will pull it out, and then by hand I will put another one back in so that the whole neck edge will lie flat. I didn't do that exclusively because it was just too much. It would have been gathered. So that's why I'm taking in these little tucks. So I'm going to hit this left side here, or this this other side. I don't know which side it is. And after I sew the appliques back on, then we'll take a look at it on the dress form and do a comparison. So this is what I've decided to do to hide those tails. Instead of waiting till I have the appliques on, I have this little channel that was made, this little tuck, and I'm just going to feed these threads through that little channel. And then the applique is going to be over the top of that and hidden anyway. So there's one set right there. And then this set right here. See if we can get it in there. I hope this is clear. And then we're going to feed that up through that side and then just clip off those ends. There. There. So if I put like this applique on, it's completely covered. There's no threads. It looks neat on the inside. Looks like a win-win to me. There will be those of you who are going to ask, this is the needle I'm using. No particular reason. Any 7511 Schmetz would work, or 8012 would be just fine. I just happen to have this one, and that's what's in my machine. I'm using regular thread in the top and the bottom. The top actually is like serger thread. The bottom is just some other thread. I don't know, just a thread that matches the color of this mesh. So this is my plan. The applique is connected already on this end here. This is loose. You can see all I have pinned. I'm gonna do 2 passes, one this way and then one this way. That way I don't have to maneuver it around. I could free motion it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it this way. Take out my first pin. I am going to back stitch this one to get a little bit of a sort of a knot going. And I'm going to follow roughly the shape of that flower here. And I'm kind of pulling at the back to make sure it goes through and doesn't just sit there and stitch in one place. Pull that pin back a little bit, but not out all the way. There we go. Now I will have to turn this at quite an angle just to get that little tip there. I was making sure that everything is lying where it should go. Incidentally, if you do find this video helpful, I have a lot of other videos on formal dresses. You might be interested in them. I'll put a couple links at the top. I do have a formals playlist with all the stuff I do on formals. Everything that I've done on video so far is there. Okay, I'm gonna tie it off here. Because this part's already sewn on, and we are going to go back to where we started before and just come down this way. And again, I'm going to back stitch here just a little bit. Okay. You thread, driving me crazy. Okay, there we go. I think I can remove this one now and not have much trouble. Okay. This part of the neck is done, and here's my little tuck right there. Yeah, a nice press, and I think that's going to be beautiful. This looks so much better than it did before. It's nice and tight and lays really well against my dress form. I'm still going to run a new clear thread and kind of trim up those rough edges. And here's a side-by-side comparison where you can see that it's just so much more clean. And there you have it. I think this dress is feeling a lot better. This is a pretty quick and easy fix. I hope you got some value out of today's video. If you want to know about more formal alterations, please check out my formals playlist. There might just be something there that you're interested in. If you're more into wanting to know how to hem jeans, how to take in waist, then check out my jeans playlist. You might also want to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I appreciate you joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.